What problem is in the Berachain ecosystem or in DeFi in general do you aim to solve with the novel DEX that you guys have?
We're trying to solve like a Web3 problem.
Could you highlight some of the team members' biggest achievements in their careers prior to BurrBear?
We built the first regulated non-USD stablecoin in Southeast Asia.
Ooga booga, and welcome to this week's episode of BlockHunters Voices. My name is Joachim Vuju, and I'm your host for today. BlockHunters Voices is a platform where we explore the journeys, stories, and insights of blockchain innovators and leaders, as well as the technologies driving their projects. Today is a special day for two reasons. One, it's our first time hosting free guests, and we're also pleased to have Kos, our marketing link, join us as a co-host. And two, because it's the first protocol from Berachain who believed and partnered with us. So if you want to find out how BurrBear is printing and writing an important chapter in the Berachain universe, please bear with us. Gram, Berome, Kos, welcome, and great to have you guys on board.
Booga booga!
Thanks, Viju, and thanks, Kos. Great to be here, and thanks for having us on board.
Before we kick things off, since we have most of the BurrBear team here, can you guys please introduce yourselves and tell us what is your role in BurrBear so everyone can be on the same page?
Absolutely. Graham, do you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. I'm Gram. I'm the intern for BurrBear, and I run socials, I run Discord, and I generally, do customer service, right? I get coffee for the boss sometimes too. Yes.
Graham is very humble. He's actually the big boss, but we keep it a secret just so it's sort of a meme. So,
Oh no.
And I am Berome Powell. I guess as far as an intro goes, it's sort of part of the story of how we came up with BurrBear. But I'll get into the details later. But basically, we see BurrBear. The tagline is sort of the money printer of the Berachain ecosystem, and naturally, there was Jerome Powell there, and so we sort of made a play and meme on that.
Great. Thank you guys for that.
Yeah, let's go into specifics, guys. So, what the heck is BurrBear? You've got free NFT collection, an innovative DEX, and a killer community talking about you all over the Berachain ecosystem. I see you all over all the posts from my feed from Berachain. Give us the lowdown on what BurrBear is all about.
Sure, I can start to answer that, then hand it over to Graham. But I guess it helps to understand how we sort of got into the Bera ecosystem, and then I guess just take it from there if that sounds good.
Yeah, of course.
Great. So yeah, beyond what we're doing now, we just ran into Berachain, I think earlier this year. I don't remember exactly anymore, and we had just been building stablecoin protocols in the balancer ecosystem. And so we came across Berachain, and we thought the proof of liquidity concept was interesting, and that's largely because of sort of like how they're trying to solve the cold start problem for various DEXs, especially stablecoin DEXs, right? And so we, having had experience building stablecoin protocols, decided to launch what we now call BurrBear on Berachain. And it's basically, the tagline says money printer for the Berachain ecosystem, but that's not really descriptive. We are basically the one-stop stablecoin shop for the Berachain ecosystem, if you want to sort of call it like a Curve++, right? So the Curve part is we can do stable swap up to 20 times more efficient on 20 times less liquidity in the same way compared to how Curve does it. And the plus part means we can expand to any kind of stable swap design, whether it's swapping USD to USD stablecoins, or restaking tokens, or even tokenized stocks with a Chainlink oracle that needs to be plugged into the curve, right? So any kind of stablecoin can parameterize its curve on BurrBear and achieve the kind of market effect that they want to. I will hand it over to Graham there before trying to get too deep and getting too wordy. So Graham, please take it away and stop me.
Thanks for the introduction, bro. I think you did a great job. So yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I joined BurrBear only in April. I wasn't actually right there at the start with the rest of them, right? And what struck me from this, Bera degen perspective was like, yo, these guys Discord, they have a new Discord, but their docs are like fully fleshed out. And I've been in DeFi for like 3 years maybe. I didn't understand what the heck was going on in there. This is like technically impressive stuff, right? So I knew at the point I wrote to Berome, I was like, yo, dude, can I be a moderator or something? I just want to invest, man. Like, just give me, I need some of this BurrBear action, And so since then, BurrBear has really become, I think, one of the premium communities in Berachain. And as Kos mentioned earlier, right, we have these NFT collections. So the NFT collections actually weren't a thing when we started working on BurrBear, right? And they were a vehicle, I guess, to reward our most loyal supporters right at the start, because we face the same problem as every protocol does. How do you get a loyal fan base right at the start of your protocol? And I think through these NFTs, they're a rebasing collection, right? Taking inspiration from Berachain themselves. So this rebase collection has shown us who are the diamond hands in our community, and these guys, they're supporting us, and we want to support them all the way to the end as well. How that kind of covers.
Yes, thank you for that, Gram. I want now to go a little from the beginning, because your team has had an impressive background from working with consensus and multiple commercial banks and developing banks to creating the first Visa card that supports crypto in the US and building the first regulated crypto exchange in Asia. Could you highlight some of the team members' biggest achievements in their careers prior to BurrBear?
Sure, I can take that. And Graham, please just stop me if there's anything you want to come in with. But I guess I'll describe it a bit generically, just to keep it short. But basically, the team's backgrounds are mostly in, as you mentioned, Viju introduced very well, traditional banking, building e-wallets, crypto exchanges. But a lot of our work focused on building stable coins. So, for example, we built the first regulated non-USD stablecoin in Southeast Asia that was backed by a pretty big bank. And then moving on from that, we just kept doing stablecoin work in the enterprise space, and then in the DeFi space when we were building some stablecoin hyper-optimized stable swaps in the Balancer ecosystem. And what we're building now on BurrBear is sort of just a culmination of all of that. Basically, it's how do you bring utility to a blockchain, right? Because as a blockchain launches, there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of initial trading volume and whatnot, but it sort of becomes, how do you make it useful in the long term? So if you look at blockchains like Avalanche and others, etc., you can see that they're all moving towards bringing actual utility on chain. And BurrBear aims to sort of provide that based on our past work. So we're just applying our learnings here, and so it's all sort of directly reflective of what we used to work on before. If that didn't go too far beyond the question, I went a bit there.
Yeah, but it's very good that you told me that, because we are talking about mass adoption, right? But do you think that the names on Berachain that are all related to bears, would that be kind of odd for mass adoption at some point, or is it too crypto niched?
Well, at least the way I look at it, and Graham, just jump in if I'm monologuing here now. But the way I look at it is, you have all this on-chain, speculating, and you have these Bera communities on all these various communities on other blockchains. You sort of need that to get the blockchain going. Like, for example, when we minted our NFTs, they're not our users, right? They are the early backers. And so at least that's how I see it. All this early activity, all these projects on Bartio, all these community members, either airdrop farming or actually using the products because they're interested, they are early backers and early testers. The end users are still quite far away. And just like we see with we see with traditional finance, there's several layers to it. And so the blockchain level, the protocol level, is going to be the very B2B focused level. And all these early players are just going to get a piece of that in some way or fashion. And based on the work we do, like we partner with stablecoin issuers from projects before, they then integrate with the blockchain, and they become the on and off ramps to that blockchain, and then they go and serve their users. So an example of that is, I'll just name one, just because I've been seeing the news. There's one called StraightSex to issue the Singapore dollar stablecoin, and they partnered with Grab, which is like the super app of Southeast Asia. It's kind of like Uber, right? And now you can top up. Yeah, exactly. Like now you can top
I
up.
use it in Singapore.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So like that's an example of real world adoption, and it went through a stablecoin issuer, and it then settled on whatever blockchain that stablecoin issuer was integrated with. So if you want to sort of like bring traditional finance onto blockchains, you need those kinds of integrations. That's what we aim to service. Initially at the start, it's a lot of like speculation and just, hey, all these like tokens minted out of, let's say, Bera or Bitcoin collateral or BGT or IBGT. But as Berachain matures, we'll need to start bringing these kinds of stablecoin issuers in. So that's sort of what we're aiming to do in terms of like a long-term roadmap beyond all these NFTs and whatnot in this community building. Sorry, Graham, come in with any insights.
So just to add on a little bit here, I know it's a lot. Sorry, Joachim and Kos. But I was thinking, like to your point, right? That it might seem kind of strange for users who are used to like proper so-called banking apps, banking websites, right? To suddenly be introduced to this. I'm sending $10,000 to a bear, right? That's the kind of the vibe that Berachain might give off. But I think in a weird way it might work, because from a consumer perspective, I can definitely see like cute or relatable things taking over the world, right? The current meme coin trends it's all about the cute stuff,
exactly.
Mudeng is taking the world by storm, and I think there's always that niche for a consumer to be like, okay, you know what, maybe maybe the technical spec isn't so important, but I like the vibes, right? I like the vibes of Berachain, and therefore I'll use the services, and it would be that much better if the services behind Berachain are just that strong technically, right? So that's how I see it, I think.
Yeah, we're here for the vibes.
And I also fully agree that Berachain could be the place to unite both TradeDeFi and crypto natives, even with the niche crypto approach that Berachain has. Once you understand it, or at least put some time into it, you stay there for the vibes, like we just said earlier. But also, if you have this whole infrastructure that you guys are building and other projects are building, the ecosystem would be so well structured that you don't have why would you leave? Why would you go to somewhere else? Berachain already has one of the largest ecosystems, and we are not even on mainnet, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
I think that's really well said, Kos. Okay.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Oops, ran into you there, Graham. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I just wanted to say, like, I think that's kind of the point, right? Like, Web3 is meant to, I guess, take Web2's place. So if you want to do like stock trading, you want to do like forex, you want to send money to a friend, right? I think Web3 is supposed to take Web2's place in all of that. And what we can do is provide those services that people want to use, and like you said, they'll never leave, because not only you can do everything, and it's cheaper, and there's vibes, right? It's like a perfect situation if Berachain does pull this off, of course. Yeah, sorry, bro, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you can tell why we made Graham the real CEO, because he's much more fun to listen to.
The intern is always the CEO in a company. He's the meme master, and he drives the community to the goals that the real CEO finds and has.
I think that's correct. We'll let you know when we find the real CEO. We don't really know.
Okay, guys, let's go forward. And that's a more like an industry questions with all the experience you have in crypto. How has your time in the space shaped your view on where the industry is headed? Do you think we as a community, and not speaking just for the Berachain here, are on the right track, or the areas that we are targeting are the right focus right now?
I guess that's a tricky question. Graham, do you have any initial thoughts before I try and brainstorm or make up an answer?
Not really. How do
I
you
think my answer is just we just don't know. I won't pretend to know the answer to whether or not we're going in the right direction or not. I mean, to the example earlier, Viju costs of like for example in Token 2049, us being able to top up stable coins to something that we would actually use, like a super app. I think that's really good progress. I guess on the on and off ramp sense, it's progressing. On the on-chain thing, I guess we're starting to understand exactly what the product market fit of blockchain of these public permissionless blockchains are. So I guess that's proceeding, meaning coins. But beyond that, I think there's still a pretty big divide in. I mean, BlackRock is definitely making some really good. They're crossing that gap pretty well, but I think there's still a really big divide in actually bringing utility from the real world into blockchain. So we're hoping to work on that intersection.
We need to enjoy the vibes.
We do. So I was hoping Graham had a exactly. I was hoping Graham had a really good vibes focused answer there rather than my
but I
solution
think
focused answer.
you articulated it pretty well, that there is a divide into the people that are building real world solutions using blockchain technology, and the on-chain degen that we ourselves are and enjoy being in that community. And somewhere soon, I think we will see some kind of meeting of these two different spheres. We already see BlackRock utilizing Ethereum for their services and stuff like that, and probably after BlackRock call, there will be many more institutions that come on chain.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for BlackRock to get on Bera and come up with a Bera name for their tokenized fund. So that will be the next step to us.
Well, yeah, I mean that's
Black Bera.
Black Bera. Yeah, that's kind of
right. It's already happening.
It's already there. Yeah, there is a Black Bera on the dev team on Berachain, right?
Yeah, and I was about to say, it's kind of Smokey's job at this point, isn't it? He's to convince, like, oh, yes, like this whole chain is a bunch of degens, but they're also smart, But this the tech is legit, right? So that's kind of what I think Smokey has got the drive for us.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what happens next. I'm here to enjoy the ride. I'm not so worried about the destination. I'm sure it's gonna be a great one. So,
as long as you sell the top.
Of course, but who sells the top? Who sells it? I don't know anyone who sells the top. Yeah. So, I want to go a little into how BurrBear joined the Berachain ecosystem, because I knew at some point that you guys were invited from the Berachain core team to be within the ecosystem. Did you know Smokey or anyone else for the Berachain team beforehand?
No, we didn't. Graham, did you know them?
Not at all. I like stumbled my way here after falling into Janny's trap and collecting all those articles last year, and but I joined BurrBear in like late April, so this was after they decided to start building on Berachain, so I wouldn't be able to know. Yeah, I don't know anyone. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, VG, to answer the question directly, we were just building in the Balancer ecosystem, and we just ran into MVP and Smokey and the others. I don't even remember how anymore. I think someone reached out and then set up a Telegram group, and then just went going from there. But what caught my attention was the proof of liquidity concept, right? Because when you're building with stablecoin issuers and trying to build stablecoin liquidity, the biggest problem is the cold start problem, because it's sort of a chicken and egg situation, right? There's always okay, where's the volume to generate fees, or where is the liquidity to enable that volume? And that first part, the volume, is a tricky thing when you're trying to build stable coins that are not just USD pegged. So USDT, USDC, they have a big use case, right? Everyone uses it. Exchanges use them. People use them. People hold them. Wallets are building on them. But if we're going to bring traditional finance onto blockchains, traditional like for example, Forex, for example, or commodities markets, they're the biggest markets in the world, right? But they're not USD pegged all the time. A good chunk is, but some of them are like Japanese yen pegged, or Forex markets. They deal in all currencies. So everyone agrees that those are big markets, but how do you bring that on chain? And it's always a liquidity problem, because there's no volume yet, because everyone's gambling on meme coins and they're trading against USD stable coins. Yeah, right. But so then how do you start this liquidity when there's no immediate use case on chain? So that's the cold start problem when you're building stable coins for the real world on the blockchain. And so when we heard about this proof of liquidity thing, as I think it was MVP who was explaining it to me, we were like, okay, maybe this solves the cold start problem. And if we can build like a really good base of USD peg liquidity, then we can bring all our other partners that we have relationships with, basically they're stablecoin issuers, onto Berachain and build that kind of real world market. So that's where this has been going and why we decided to deploy in Berachain.
That's a great story, guys. Thank you for that.
No, thanks for the question.
May I ask what other ecosystem were you considering building before Berachain, before finding out about them?
I think Balancer was the first, right? But were there any other ecosystems as well?
So basically, our criteria was we needed a blockchain or a foundation team that was just going to be, or an ecosystem that was just going to be very supportive to help us bootstrap this base of USD liquidity that we can pair all these other kinds of stable coins against, right? Not even currencies, or even like stocks and whatnot. And we saw the Berachain. So we deployed, and then we were like, okay, let's go see what the Berachain community is like. And we found out that, especially when we ran into Gram, we found out that they're very high engagement and very high conversion rate, meaning they're very sticky, right? And that was all we needed to sort of start going out there and starting to build a community that we call beras now. And that's why our NFT collections have been successful, as well as all the other NFT ecosystem collections have been successful. It's because the Berachain community is, I would say, really, really, really good. And they act as early backers of a project and really help that project, and even all the other projects in the ecosystem, right? So I think you have all the ingredients to launch things successfully, and that's why Berachain is already one of the biggest ecosystems in the space.
Yeah, I remember someone mentioned it at like his thoughts for token 2049 that we don't have so many customer apps right now because they're all waiting to launch on Berachain.
I think I saw that tweet as well. I think that's very true, right? Because the Bera community is just very high conversion and very sticky. And so it's, as long as you're able to couple the right incentives together, the community follows along very well, and they're very willing to back you. So I think what you're saying is completely right, Kos.
Thanks for the answer, Berome. Let's go into more specific of the protocol. What problem is in the Berachain ecosystem, or in DeFi in general, do you aim to solve with the novel decks that you guys have? Or more specifically, would love to get a proper walkthrough of all the features or the unique features you guys have compared to normal decks right now.
Thanks. Gram, I guess I can take this question again, unless you wanted to jump in with anything.
I mean, technicals are not my strong front, sir. I get coffee.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So what problem you're trying to solve in the Berachain ecosystem? We're not trying to solve a Berachain ecosystem problem. We're trying to solve like a Web3 problem. So we're onboarding traditional finance onto blockchains, and we've chosen Berachain as the place to do that because of proof of liquidity and whatnot. But in terms of what products we're building to achieve that, we have 3 pool types, basically. So when I said we're the one-stop stablecoin shop on Berachain, so basically if you're a stablecoin issuer like Bera, Borrow, or any other stablecoin issuer that's going to come online soon or later on, you have all the pool types you need to build your liquidity. So for example, we have the multi-stable pool, and that's your typical stable swap that you're probably familiar with if you know Curve and whatnot. It's like the multi-token pool, and it's just like one-to-one.
Try token.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the Curve word for it. They call it the 3 pool, 4 pool, etc. So we have that same technology, so that everyone's familiar with that. And then we have the Burr pool. So the Burr pool is what I call the hyper-optimized stable swap pool. And what it means is if you have $20 million of liquidity on Curve, to achieve the same range of market accurate trading, you only need $1 million on BurrBear, on that Burr pool. And the reason for that is because, well, I won't get into it too much just because we don't have as much time here. But the basic point is we have a wider range of market accurate trading. And if it's a USD stablecoin, it's pretty straightforward. But if you can customize it for other things like for like commodities markets, you can customize for gold trading. You can customize it for Euro USD trading. You can customize it for a tokenized stock trading to USD or any other asset you want. So we can bring in these like enterprise feeds from TradFi and plug it in and enable these markets on Berachain. So it's like when I went back, if I go back to my example, it's Curve plus plus, basically Curve and anything else you want to do with any kind of stablecoin. You can make those markets on BurrBear.
That sounds great, Berome. Thank you for that. Graham, do you want to add something or do you want to bring the coffee?
Yeah, I need some coffee myself. I need an intern. But no, I think just to add on to that, like, I think even as a degen, most of your stuff, when you say as a degen, right? When you say take profit, it's either you go into Bitcoin or ETH, and a lot of the times you go into stable coins, don't you? And sometimes you just need a place to like trade different stable coins or store even different stable coins. And I think, like Berome said that it's not a Berachain problem, but I think it's both. We do also fit that specific niche for any blockchain because any good blockchain needs a good stablecoin DEX, right? We think that Curve was an integral part of DeFi Summer back in 2020, and we think that when Berachain does kick off its glorious DeFi Summer, hopefully in 2024, we will be an integral part of the DeFi piece, right? So I think we are one of those protocols that is perhaps a little more quiet for now. It's not like stable coins aren't sexy. You don't get like a 500 times gain on it, but hey, they're no less important in the ecosystem, any ecosystem, I think.
Thank you for that, Graham. Now we should get going and talk about the BurrBear's NFT collections. So basically right now you've launched printing beras, Bera TLNs, and you will be launching berry Benzlers. The first 2 collections have seen remarkable success, with the first collection increasing 15 times in value. Could you take us through the journey from the Genesis collection to the latest berry Benzlers, especially how you maintain exclusivity and value?
I'll let Graham take this question, but minor correction, Viju. The first one is up 21 times now.
21 times. Oh, my bad.
I think last time when we checked it was just 15. We probably did like another 2x.
Yeah, when we were writing the questions, it was 15 times. So yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to say that. Go ahead, Graham.
You know how crypto time is not like the usual time. 1 minute could mean 1 month in the real world.
Yeah, exactly. I was just as surprised yesterday. It actually just happened yesterday, right? Like I think 2 days ago, one of them sold for like 1.56, and then next thing we know, boom, it's 2.1. We're like, bruh. Like you said, man, it just was really happens real fast. But anyway, so the thing that I always lead off with is we created this NFT collection from the start, right? Not to raise. That's something we wanted to get out there really, early, because we were only launching 80 pieces for 0.1 ETH. How do you launch a protocol for 8 ETH, right? You just can't, right? It doesn't make sense. So we wanted to make very clear from the start, when we did our initial mint on June 20th, that this mint was not to raise, it was not to gain any sort of hype. In fact, we did no marketing for it whatsoever, right? The only piece of news that came out was on Medium, and we all know nobody reads, right? Nobody reads.
Exactly.
Nobody reads.
Especially bears, because they don't know how to read, right?
Yeah, beras are like the worst readers on the planet. And so no, we didn't expect anyone to read, and we opened this like sale fully public. By the way, there was no whitelist, there was nothing. We just asked the early supporters in our, hey, we are launching this collection at 0.1 ETH, right? Which was very high. Reminder that at this point, I think the high, like Yeet had just minted 2 months before, and their highest tier was 0.1 ETH. So definitely not cheap by any means, right? So and this was like the time of the free mints. Everyone was like, holy crap, you're doing 0.1 ETH, are you insane? When everyone else is doing a free mint, and we honestly didn't expect it to mint out. We had no expectations, and we were going to just, okay, whoever buys, get something, and if not, we just burn them. And so to our pleasant surprise, the original minted out in 27 hours, which is quite long. But then nothing happened, right? For a whole month, no trading happened whatsoever. We were like, okay, we're not going to think about this anymore, right? And suddenly in July, the one sale goes off at 1 ETH. And we looked at each other, we were like, is this a mistake? How did this collection go up 10 times? We didn't do any marketing, we didn't speak about it, right? And suddenly it goes up to 1 ETH. We're like, huh? And we announced Generation 2 in 2 weeks after that. And on the lead up to Generation 2, I think 4 or 5 more sold at 1.6, something like that. And, that just kind of solidified, I think, the original generation of the printing beras as one of the premium collections on Berachain. And when we did the second mint, we had loads and loads of people who wanted in. And we only sold, I think, 65 the second time. And we set a Berachain record for fastest mint out. We did it in 11 seconds, despite the mint price being higher. This time it was 0.2 and people still wanted it, right? And sold out within 11 seconds. I think Cos managed to get one as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I'm pretty fast as those. I remember there was a very similar mint with yours back in the day from Bera Dodge, and they had those NFTs in collaboration with the Honey Jar, and they sold out in 20 seconds as well. You gotta be fast for those. You gotta have that Degen experience in you.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing gets the blood pumping, more than securing a really in-demand mint. So yeah, that brings us to the present. We are more like just slightly a month after the Gen 2 mint. We are, as Joachim, you said, Gen 3. We're doing the Barry Benzler's in 2 days, actually, from the time of this recording. And it's even more pricey this time. It's 0.3 ETH, which at today's prices is, I think, $800, right? People are like, are you serious? Are you insane? Are you charging $800 for an NFT that is not on mainnet? And we were like, yeah, because to us it's still the same thing. We are not looking to raise. We are like trying to secure our core community, right? As Berome put it just now, they're not our users, they're our core supporters, and these guys are the ones we will support to the end as well, right?
But
so
what are
the-
the perks for people who mint those NFTs? The
Ooh,
community.
that is a
That
think
is
I
the
think it's
interesting
classified.
part.
Sorry, Berome, go on.
Oh, is that me now?
No, I don't know. Like I saw you unmute. I thought you wanted to say something.
Oh no, I didn't unmute. But anyway, that's okay. Yeah. So, what are the perks? We're very used to saying there are no perks, minted at your own peril. But of course, we're planning something. We're very aware of the fact that, okay, hey, our goal is huge, right? And it will take forever to do that, and that happens whenever it happens. But in the meantime, we do have something planned beyond the obvious benefits for people buying NFTs on Berachain. So you know what it is if you read our docs. You know what the benefits are. You know why people are buying this. But beyond that, beyond even just the PFP that will be released after Berachain mainnet launches, we do have something pretty big planned, a bit of a curveball that no one knows about. And so I will say to all the printers listening to this, keep a hold of your printers, because you hold the keys to something very big that we haven't told anyone about. And we had actually been testing this a year before we ran into Berachain. And we had an alpha and beta testing it. It already has some users. And so we were just looking for a very supportive community to launch it with. And so that's all I will say. Hold on to your printers, because there's something pretty big coming.
I think that's enough, Berome. Thank you for that.
Yeah, this is what pisses me off, right? Like, Berome, this is my first time hearing about this. And I want the team. Yeah, Berome has said, like, oh, we'll tell, like, Bera Search, and he'll do a thread, and you'll learn it from there. You won't hear it from us, we're like, oh. So yeah, never bet against Berome. He has like 2, 3, 4 strategies up his sleeve, and
he has all the aces in his sleeve, right?
Exactly. Yeah, 5 of them too.
5 of them, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to watch out for what we say. I mean, we just lowered the interest rate by 50 basis points in the market pump. So
we don't want to do market manipulation, right?
No, definitely not. That is not what central banks do.
I think BurrBear has like the best narrative in today's landscape with the printer and everything. Your idea is pretty well designed, and it's probably one of the best collections on Berachain with that perspective.
Well, we're glad you think so. But if you think the collection floor prices are good despite it being high, and you like how we're building the community, just wait, because what we're gonna launch is just gonna keep that going, and it's gonna reward the printers quite well. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we shall not give more alpha right now. We will keep it for later.
I can't tell anyone. I haven't told Gram, so.
Let's go a bit in the future. Speaking broadly, what's the next 3 to 6 months going to look like for BurrBear? I think you already talked about a bit of it, but if is there anything else to add, you guys could go ahead.
The most important one is Gram finding out what the secret launch is.
Oh, good lord. Oh, no. It's gonna be like a whole reaction video, and they're gonna put it on Netflix or something. Jeez.
No, absolutely. Well, I mean, product-wise, product roadmap, I've spoken about it a lot, so we know what's coming, plus the secret product that we're going to launch with the printers. But I think for a more tangible view, I don't know, Gram, do you want to jump in there?
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing, right, that all of us are waiting for is when on earth is Berachain gonna launch, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Q5, man, Q5. We know that.
Yeah, Q5. You know, I
Q69,
have to start
69.
telling everyone. Like my mom asks me when I'm gonna get a proper job, I tell her, yeah, you wait till Q5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think once Berachain launches, we don't even need a job. We will be rich in PFPs.
Yay. Yeah, but so you know, like I think that's the most important thing. You know, if Berachain needs to kind of launch, because you know, without Berachain, our product, well, I mean, not that it doesn't exist, but it is built to support Berachain, right? So I think that is going to be like the key to what's happening, and then we're gonna do the stuff like standard. We're going to do a pre-sale, we're going to do a token sale, and then after that we will launch the protocol with help from Bera, our launch partners, who are going to seed their stablecoin liquidity nectar into our pools. Right, so that's kind of how it's going to look for the next, I would say 3 to 6 months, but God knows, right? It could be next year, who knows?
Okay, thank you for that, guys. Gram, Berome, thank you guys for hopping in and making the time. Cos, you've been wonderful as hell. You've been a great co-host. We should do this more often.
Yeah, we should.
To everyone tuning in, if you enjoyed our Bera Appeal discussion, don't forget to follow BurrBear and BlockHunters, and see you guys soon.
Thanks, Viju. Thanks, Voss. Appreciate the time, guys.
Yeah, thanks for hosting us. Love to be on a good podcast from time to time, and we'll be glad to be invited again.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, guys.
We should do part 2 once Berachain goes live, probably.
Of course. We have a lot to talk on Berachain minute is live.
Yeah, I think the hardest part would be to find the time to do it, because everything will be super time tight.
Yeah, of course, but we can do spaces. We can do these things live. We have to do it, right? It's for the community, for the vibes.
Yes, sir.
Have a great one, guys. Thaning you.
Thanks for hosting.
Have a great day, guys. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.